lead together, embrace change, enhance everyone's journey. The 3 core principles of SmartStop, a leader in self-storage real estate across North America, reinforce why we're proud to bring you SheEO Lead-In, the podcast featuring curated conversations with powerful women sharing their impactful wisdom. It's a self-knowledge, self-discovery, and self-preneurship audio storage vault created by and for women. SmartStop's presentation of SheEO Lead-In begins right now.
Today we are here with Jerica Williams, entrepreneur, athlete, Nike, and so much more. Can you share with us a little bit about what you do every day, Jerica? Because I think it's a lot.
Yeah, that is true. It is a lot. I would throw mother in there. I probably should have led with
I
that
love
one.
that. Yes. Me too.
Former athlete, former basketball coach, current consultant for Nike and the WNBA, and other, I would say, businesses. And I coach people. I think it's a big part of what I do. And then storytelling. I started a nonprofit foundation that is dedicated to amplifying girls' voices, and I've really found my own voice in that.
I love it.
So.
I love it. So, your coaching is also mothering as well.
Great point.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, people don't really think about that, but, you've got to have a certain amount of love in that to help people become their best version of themselves. Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about your childhood. Where'd you grow up? Do you have a fun story you'd like to share with us that possibly, but not necessarily, led you to what you're doing today?
Sure. Well, I'm originally from Oregon, and I moved to San Diego when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
So Oregon kind of molded me. Glad to be in the sun and not in the rain, though.
Yeah.
So I moved to San Diego when I was 8. Grew up in San Diego in Spring Valley area. I went to Spring Valley Elementary, Spring Valley Middle, and Mount McGill, all within a 5-mile radius.
Nice.
So San Diego is home through and through. A story that has led to where I am, I think I've always been an athlete. I think I came out of the womb just kind of wanting to throw a ball or kick a ball or something. That was always me. I never played with Barbies, never played with dolls, but I wanted to be outside and play. And then I think that led me to finding basketball on accident. And I think that kind of writes the script for the rest of the story. Like, I feel like my love found me and then gave me the opportunity to use it as a vessel to be a long thread through the rest of my life. And so to still be in basketball, but on so many different sides of it, I think that would be the story that shaped me for sure.
It's your calling.
100%.
It's your calling. And when you know it's your calling, you can't shy away from it.
No.
And it will keep sucking you back in.
That's true.
It's awesome. So do you have a word that describes you the best?
That's a good question. You know what came to mind was brief and brilliant.
Ah, you love that.
I really love that. A word that describes me the best? A word that comes to mind is probably intentional.
I like that.
Yeah, I think I do everything with intention. I learn with intention. I show up with intention. I let myself be present with intention. I mother with intention. And I work with intention. So I think intentional is the word that describes me.
So when you said that you fell into basketball, what was your first sport that you played that you really loved, and then boom, basketball was there and it took over?
Baseball.
Really?
Baseball was my first sport. Yeah.
Wow.
I was a pitcher on obviously an all boys team.
Yeah.
I was always the only girl in every.
I love that.
Yeah. So I was pitcher and shortstop sometimes, but.
How did the boys take that?
I don't remember because I didn't care. I blocked it out. I get that question sometimes. I'm like, I'm sure I can recall, even when I played basketball, because I started playing basketball against boys, there may have been some resistance at first, but I was so good that it didn't matter. Ultimately, they wanted me on their team because they wanted to win. So I don't remember.
Are your parents athletic?
Nope.
Oh, well, that's even more crazy.
I shouldn't say that. I'm sure they're athletic, but did they exercise it? No.
My kids would say, my mom is the most unhappy person there is. Although it's not entirely true, but they would say that about me.
Yeah.
So siblings that led you to sports?
No.
No, interesting.
It's truly a calling. I'm the
Wow.
only athlete in my family.
I love that. So let's talk a little bit about success and failure, because I feel like the two are intertwined.
For sure.
What do you have any examples of that you'd like to share with our listeners? And by the way, I think a lot of times failures or watching other people fail are just as important as actually successes.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah. I don't know if I would identify what the world would describe as failures to me. I think obviously you hear it all the time, like, oh, I didn't fail, I learned.
Yeah.
I would describe it as course corrections that have happened where maybe I got told no, or maybe I lost a business, or maybe I lost a basketball game. It just gave me so much more for whatever was next in front of me. And so the pain of whatever felt like a failure in the moment never did for too long.
Yeah. I feel like no, you would not respond to.
Yeah, no, I think some people would agree with that. I know how to push through some no's.
No actually makes me try harder.
Yeah.
It makes me go, oh, that's cute. No, that means I'm going to really crush it here.
Yeah, exactly. There's always a way. There's always a way.
Always. So let's talk you talked about you being a mother. I don't know how old your kids are, but how do you balance work and home life?
Yeah.
It's sometimes pretty tough.
Yeah, my son is 14. He's my only child. I've gotten away from using the word balance because it's impossible to have. It's a zero-sum game if you're equally balanced. So I focus on being aligned. And so I just ensure that being a mother and my son gets the first part of me. And then the rest of what I do falls after that. Yeah. So I feel like that's how I've figured out how to manage being a working mother.
And it gets different when they start driving.
Yeah, I'm close to that. He's 14, so he's, turned that corner he is around his friends all the time, and he's not mommy's little sidekick anymore. And it is an adjustment, but it's also liberating and fun and so freeing for both of us. So it's fun.
So does he want to drive? My kids.
Oh yeah, of course.
Well,
of course.
No. I feel
choice.
I feel like a lot of kids
don't want to drive these days. No child of mine. I
told my kids I have a 25-year-old and a 29-year-old, and they were both like, I don't really want to drive. I'm like, oh, you're driving. Yeah. All the sports and everything. Oh no, it's on.
Non-negotiable.
And honestly, when they first started driving, both of them said, "Gosh, I'm so glad you pushed me because." I love the independence.
Right. Exactly. No, my son has been driving since he could touch the pedals.
Nice.
Or practicing, I should say.
Yeah. I know what you meant. So as a female leader, what are your most significant barriers? What do you think?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
What are my most significant barriers?
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Well, for instance, do you find that men resist you when you're
leadership?
Yeah.
That was the first thing that came to mind that jumped out I'm in an predominantly male dominated industry. But I feel like work in general, the work space is just male dominated no matter what industry you're in. So I would say a barrier to entry before was being in predominantly male spaces. But I have, for example, I was the only female coach in men's college basketball and just the third ever all time. And so to be in a space where I was the only one in the country doing what all men were doing and what so few women have done, it kind of made me, what is the word? Not numb, but took away that, like, I broke the barrier.
Yeah.
I broke
sure.
I redid the barrier.
Right.
And so I feel like I used to really put myself up against men and how I would perform against men and the ways that I should break through those walls. But then I realized women are needed. And when I saw that in an all male industry, it took away that there's not room for me or I got to break something down. No.
Yeah.
I'm here and I'm needed. Not I need you need me here, not I need to be here.
Right.
You know?
So what? And I'm imagining when did you actually start coaching college?
My first year coaching men's college 2023. So I did it for one season, but I was in I worked in the NBA. I've coached youth boys.
But you're pretty young, and the reason that I bring this up is, I think that probably was a barrier. The two combined. I mean, you're a big personality. You're just light, and then the amount of talent that you have.
Thank you.
That had to be somewhat intimidating, I would think.
The person who hired me, I asked him, I said, why do you want to hire me?
Yeah.
And he said, because you're the best person for the job. And it took me a second to receive it. But he wasn't wrong. Mm-hmm. He had said, as soon as you do this, you will have worked on every single basketball level there is. Right. And nobody could tell you anything. Right. So I think it takes people being able to see you first and kind of create the pathway for you. But it allowed me to just show up and be
courageous. Yeah. You have to be.
Yeah, courageous, and also utilize. This is what I wanted to say. I had done so much up until that point to earn that seat. And so my knowledge and my abilities gave me the rightful place to sit there and be a great coach at that level. I wasn't just lucky to be there. And so I appreciated him honoring that.
Well, and I guess I would say to that point, there still would be, and I want to explore this with you. There still would be some men that would resist that would look at that and say,
"Oh, of course."
Ooh, how did the other coaches treat you?
Well, he was the big boss, so nobody. I don't know if anybody was going to overstep that. They may have been resistant behind closed doors, but I think pretty immediately, I feel like once you get women in there, you can see their value, and if you can be bold enough to not be threatened by it, then you can see that it makes you look better, or it adds to you and the greater good.
So the other teams, how did they receive you?
Yeah, so I do have a fun story about that. So I remember walking into Cincinnati, and the security guard. So I'm walking onto the court, and the security guard stops me, and he said, "Where's your ticket? This is for courtside seats only." And I was like, "Well, I was walking in with the other coaches, but he stopped me."
Right.
And I was like, "Well, I have the courtside seats." So, but he was shocked that I was a coach.
Yeah.
So I think other people maybe were a little more resistant, but when you work next to me, you get the value, you see the value, but there's definitely resistance from just the greater population.
Kind of sexism in a way. Just looking at you thinking a certain thing.
Yeah.
So, probably, what about the players? What were their feelings about any resistance? Did you feel like there was any? Or?
No, because not with that group in particular, because I had so much credibility with the players I had worked with. So I had worked with, some of the greatest basketball players of all time that were currently in the NBA who they respected.
Yeah.
Some of the greatest coaches. And so I think that was kind of the immediate barrier, eliminated that barrier to entry for them, or gave me immediate credibility where it's like, oh, I want to learn from her because she's been around the people that I want to become. So I feel like my experience helped me in that. But if I didn't have that, I don't know. And then they looked at me as more like a mom or a sister or a aunt that I feel like was so, I didn't take offense to that because I feel like what I saw was that they needed that. When you're in a male dominated space, it's a lot of the same energy. And I feel like that energy needed to be offset a little bit. So I think they saw value in that.
Okay, so role models and mentors.
Yeah.
I'm sure you had a lot. And I'm just curious, men, women, both, who maybe your parents.
I was going to say my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
My mom she's everything. She'd be great on this show too. I watched her become a boss. I call her the rose that grew from concrete. We came from nothing. She had me at 19 years old. Single mom for a little while, and then she met my dad, and it's been us since then. But I saw her rise, and I saw her put herself through school. She told that she couldn't afford the daycare when she started college, and she said after school I'll come and clean it so that you can so that will pay for my daughter to be here. So I was able to like witness those things and see where she is now. It gave me that like built-in role model.
Hard work ethic.
Man.
Yeah, all
everything.
of that.
Makes me emotional kind of.
Aw. Well, that's amazing. But what about like in basketball specifically? Do you have any mentors in that? Or
I had really good coaches. I had really good coaches. There wasn't anybody that I looked to and said, I want to be like.
Yeah.
But
well, no, because you made it your own.
Yeah. But I feel like I had people that saw something in me that I didn't necessarily see in myself early on and gave me the space to be great. And allowed me to just be myself. And so I had, a teacher at Mount Miguel High School, Mr. Love, who I feel like, I was following the crowd and wanted to sit in the back of the classroom, but he saw something different in me and was like, no, you need to come sit up here. And like just those little things that I'm like, he saw me, he knew me. And so I had some coaches. My high school coach was another good example of just, I would say, paving the way and making it okay for me to be myself for the people who
and providing the opportunity.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Nice. It's time for just a quick Smart Stop, and then we'll be back after we hear about our sponsor.
SmartStop knows the winning connection is when we elevate success together. SmartStop Self Storage, a California company with nearly 200 properties and over 15 million square feet of rentable storage in the US and Canada, is committed to positively impacting the communities we serve on the national and local level. By aligning our core principles of leading together, embracing change, and enhancing everyone's journey with local initiatives. To learn more about our core values, our locations, and career opportunities, please visit us at smartstopselfstorage.com.
Okay, so let's talk about lessons learned. You walk into a room of young women and there's just something that you need them to know, some lessons that you've learned that really helped you. What would those be?
One that I think I've realized recently is to not give your emotions a steering wheel. Think of yourself as the driver. You have a passenger and your emotions are the passenger and they're keeping you company and they're there. Yeah. But imagine if you give them the steering wheel, what would happen to your car?
Bad decisions.
Just derailing. Yes. You might have to go somewhere you weren't intending to go. You lose the direction.
Yeah.
And as women, as girls, especially, like we're emotional creatures. And sometimes that's like shunned. So I feel like I've been able to, just reposition your emotions. Think of it differently. Don't give them a steering wheel. Because I feel like that'll keep you on course more often than not when you don't let your emotions control you.
Right.
So I think that was something that if somebody could have taught me that pretty early, oh my goodness, I would have made some different decisions.
I put mine in a nice little neat box.
Yeah, exactly.
Set them to the side. I'll come back. Don't worry, I'll come back at some point in time. But you do have to do that to some degree. Otherwise, it's too much.
It's too much.
Any other lessons?
I would say it goes to why I started her story, is to use your voice. It takes practice to be able to do it. But to trust that your voice matters, because we're just taught so young to not raise your hand. Yes,
don't say anything. Stay sweet, quiet.
That's it. And I've seen some serious damage happen because girls just were afraid to speak up. And so when I would go, whether I was coaching a team or mentoring a young girl, and I would just give them the space to speak, the things that they would tell me would save their life. And so I feel like empowering them to use your voice. It's so simple, but it's so true. And just keep practicing it, even if it's uncomfortable, just do it.
So was there one thing that led to her story, or was it numerous things? I'd love to hear about that.
Yeah. I was off of Instagram for almost a decade, and I'd coached girls basketball for probably about that same amount of time. And I got back on. When I was off it. Like, didn't have it, didn't go on it, anything. And so when I got back on it last year, I realized I started to follow a lot of the girls who I was coaching or I had coached in the past. And I realized, I know these girls, I know how they talk, I know what they have to offer, but they were just putting out pictures of themselves or highlight reels. And I was like, the world needs to hear you. Like, I know how brilliant.
Like, really hear
like,
you.
really hear what you
Yes.
have to say. And not in a way where you have to create a brand for yourself or anything like that, but just in general, where there was a really good basketball player. She's top in the country. She's in high school. And, I mean, probably 1 million followers. And I had never heard her voice. I knew all of her basketball moves. I knew who she signed with. I knew who she was playing against, who she was playing for. But I had no idea what she sounded like. And to me, I was like, oh, no. That's something that we need. That's something that we need. And so that was the motivation behind it.
Well, it's the authentic part of us.
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of kids, and I always tell them, do not change the core of who you are.
Right.
Don't put out there things that are not authentic.
Right.
Just to seem a certain way, because your uniqueness is what actually sets you apart.
Yes.
And that's actually what you bring to the table that nobody else can ever bring to the table.
Exactly. So well said.
So you think authenticity too
It wins.
is a big deal.
Wins.
So why do you think the journey chose you? Because I feel like it really did. Do you have any examples? I'm a Christian. I always go, oh, there's a kiss from God because I saw something that actually helped me. Do you ever have moments like that?
100%. The question is, why do I think the journey chose
Yeah.
me? That's such a great question. Yeah. Why do I think the journey chose
okay,
me?
so I'm gonna give you a thought-provoking question.
No, that's so good. I'm just like sitting in it, but go ahead.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna give you a thought-provoking question. So sports.
Yeah.
You think about just doing the job, but you're so much more than that.
Yeah.
You're so much more than that. Think about the things that you bring to the table that bring something different out of, because you're listening with those athletes that you are helping move forward.
I think it's why the journey chose me, just bringing it full circle, is light, right? Like, I do believe that I was chosen to be the light, to be a light in any space, a space that's already lit, a space that's dark, a space that's dim. Because it's people, we make up the environment, and every environment needs a light. And sometimes it can be, turning on a switch or just realizing that it wasn't really dark to begin with until light walks in and you get the contrast. You're like, oh, I didn't even really know that was a thing. And so
it's also doing it in your authentic, different way.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why I feel like it chose me, because it's like, oh, you just show up. Like, you show up as yourself, and people see it, and it radiates,
and it's inspiring.
And it touches people, and it doesn't have to be like a goal, or like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be a brand. It doesn't have to be like, it's just you.
Right.
And I feel like what light does is just illuminate light in others. It reflects. And so I feel like that is really my purpose in my journey, is doing that for people. Call it through whatever vessel you want, sports or, leadership, whatever the case may be, but allowing people, giving people permission, or giving people a reflection to see the light within themselves. Like, that to me is the journey that chose me.
So, and I think that's probably what you're most passionate about. Seeing women, seeing people where you just say, hey, I see something in you.
Oh, yes, that's it. Well, to me, that's what great coaches do.
Yes.
They see the gaps. They see the things in you that you don't see in yourself.
So they can become their
best version of themselves. Yes.
I love it. I love it. All right. So what's next for you? Because I feel like it's probably going to be a long discussion. Because you're doing so much already. So kind of maybe run us through what you're doing now, why you're doing it, and then also what your next part of that story is going to be.
So I'm currently a consultant for Nike and the WNBA, which I guess in layman's terms is to help grow the game of girls basketball, girls and women's basketball. So I spend a lot of my time there with the players, with the families, on the court, off the court, but really just growing the game. Obviously, I'm the founder of Her Story to amplify girls' voices, but I've used that niche of being an advocate for girls and women in sports to create other pathways. So I consult, or, consult is the best word, but consult with organizations where that's their lead initiative. So
Are you in schools at all?
Yeah, like not, I would say like not formally, like there's not a program happening or anything, but yes, like I'm in a...
Idea, throwing it your way.
Go ahead.
I think that would be really cool because think about this, where our kids are so impressionable.
Oh, 100%.
And they can decide to make bad decisions or good decisions. People with talent need to cultivate that, but there's a lot of self-awareness that comes with that, but then also you have to put a lot into it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and I think that, you know, what I've learned as an entrepreneur is you got to focus on one thing.
Yeah,
focus on one thing, right? Like, so I try not to spread myself too thin, especially with being a mom with my son is still young.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are the things that I'm doing now. I would round that out with being a mom, because we don't, if people say like list the things you do, we don't put mother, it's just assumed.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's something that takes time and effort
Sure.
and energy. And so that I do put that as something that.
And when he's an adult, it becomes less. It's a little different when your kids are.
Oh yeah.
You're never going to have those moments back when he's 14.
Exactly. So I'm leaning in.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm not missing games. I'm not.
It's good.
I'm very present.
Yeah.
In terms of what's next, honestly, Rebecca, I feel like I'm in my next. Like I really do. I feel like in 5 years, it's going to be just a bigger version of what this is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm creating a coaching platform, but it's just me. It's me and my partner that's showing up and getting to be ourselves, and the world gets to see it and benefit from it, and we get to lead transformation. But that's something that we do every single day.
Yeah.
We're just formalizing it and making it more accessible to more people. So I feel like what my 5-10 years looks like is just an amplified version of more advocacy for girls and women in sports, my creating systems and innovations that help, lead girls basketball and break down barriers, and innovation, I think, is gonna be my next, like where some ideas that I have in the industries that I'm in will show up, more concretely in the next 5 to 10 years.
So YMCAs, Boys and Girls Clubs.
Yes.
I feel like those would also be a good venue for you to reach maybe some young women that would never even consider that they could be really good at something the way that you have been.
Yeah. And I think because so I grew up playing for the Jackie Robinson YMCA.
Okay, nice.
And I think that's what called me to coach, was I wanted to be the woman that I needed growing up. In those majority of those girls, I think it's all girls. I want to reach as many girls as I can. I want that to be on my tombstone. Like, she touched as many girls as she could.
I love that.
But the YMCAs, the girls who were going in and walking into the gym and are too nervous to say, hey, I got next. I want to be something for them. So whether I can touch every single one, physically or not, I want to be able to build something that will reach them, and I want that to be my legacy.
So you're in that gym. There's a group of girls. What would your advice be to them?
Well, who are you? First of all, what I realize is a lot of girls, if you ask them to introduce themselves, they're so quiet that, like, what's your name? Or I've heard, like, I've been in a situation multiple times where somebody's mispronouncing their name and they won't correct them. Things like that. So I always start with, like, who are you? Not what do I think you should be doing? But I'm asking you who you are so you know who you are. That's first and foremost. And then if they're sitting down or whatever the case may be, like getting to know them a little bit, because I feel like you want to know who you're talking to just a little bit. And then if I can usually get a sense of if let's say they want to play basketball, say it's a gym, they want to be playing, but they're too nervous. I would help create that pathway for them.
So do you want to know about all of that, what I actually took away from it?
What?
That you take the time to see them so they can see themselves.
That's it. That is me in a nutshell. Nailed it.
I love it.
You're great at what you do.
Aw, yes. Thank you. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. And thank you for sharing about all of the great things that you're doing. I think you're going to exceed everything that you actually just shared. I think it's going to be so bigger than that.
Thank you.
So much bigger than that. Yeah, thank you.
The incredible curated SheEO conversation you just enjoyed was brought to you by SmartStop, a leader in self-storage real estate and a company that upholds its core principles of leading together, embracing change, and enhancing everyone's journey. To learn more about SmartStop, please visit smartstopselfstorage.com.
Cloudcast Media.